Imagine this. You get a decent job. Not rich, not struggling, just comfortable. You buy a reliable car. You rent or purchase a nice home in a safe neighborhood. You have health insurance. You take a vacation once or twice a year. Your kids play sports. You contribute to a retirement account. You grab coffee on the way to work. Nothing extravagant, nothing that would make people think you're wealthy, and yet somehow at the end of the month, your bank account looks surprisingly empty. You make more money than you did 5 years ago, but you don't feel richer. In fact, sometimes you wonder how people with similar incomes seem to be doing so much better. If you've ever felt that way, you're not imagining things, because the middle class is far more expensive than most people realize. And today, I want to show you something that completely changes the way many people think about money. The biggest financial challenge facing the middle class isn't necessarily low income. It's the cost of maintaining what society considers a normal life. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about it. When most people think about financial struggle, they picture poverty. When they think about financial success, they picture wealth. But the middle class occupies a strange space between those two worlds. On the outside, things often look stable. The bills are getting paid, the car works, the mortgage is current, the kids have what they need. Life appears fine. But underneath that appearance is something many people rarely discuss. The cost of staying middle class keeps increasing. And in many cases, it increases faster than income. Think about housing. For previous generations, housing consumed a much smaller percentage of household income. Today, many families spend a huge portion of their earnings simply keeping a roof over their heads. Whether it's rent, property taxes, homeowners insurance, maintenance costs, HOA fees, utilities, or mortgage payments, housing has become one of the largest financial pressures on middle-class households. And the challenge isn't just the payment itself, it's everything that comes with it. A larger house means higher utility bills, more furniture, more maintenance, more repairs, more things that eventually break. The house isn't just an asset, it's an ongoing expense machine. Then there's transportation. Many people don't think twice about having a car payment because it's become normal. But normal doesn't mean cheap. A vehicle payment can easily be several $100s a month. Add insurance, fuel, registration, repairs, maintenance, tires, and suddenly transportation becomes one of the largest expenses in the household budget. What's interesting is that many people don't feel wealthy driving these vehicles. They feel average. That's because the middle-class experience often involves spending money to maintain an image of normalcy, not luxury, normalcy. And that distinction matters a lot, because luxury spending is easier to identify. Middle-class spending often hides in plain sight. Let's look at something else. Education. Many parents want the best opportunities for their children. That's completely understandable. But opportunities often come with costs. Sports fees, school activities, tutoring, technology, field trips, college savings, extracurricular programs. Individually, none of these seem outrageous. Collectively, they can consume thousands of dollars every year. The challenge is that these expenses often feel mandatory, not because someone is forcing you to spend the money, but because everyone around you appears to be doing the same thing. And that's one of the hidden financial pressures of middle-class life. Comparison. Not the obvious kind, the subtle kind, the kind that quietly influences decisions without you realizing it. You see neighbors upgrading vehicles, friends remodeling kitchens, co-workers taking vacations, families moving into larger homes. And over time, your definition of normal starts to shift. The financial target keeps moving. You achieve one level, then immediately see another, and another, and another. The result is something economists sometimes refer to as lifestyle inflation. As income rises, spending rises right alongside it. The promotion comes, the bigger paycheck arrives, but somehow financial freedom never shows up. The extra income gets absorbed. A nicer apartment, a newer vehicle, more subscriptions, more dining out, more conveniences. Life becomes more comfortable, but not necessarily more secure. And that's where many middle-class families find themselves trapped. Not poor, not rich, just financially stretched. One of the most interesting things about wealth is that it often looks very different from what people expect. Many truly wealthy individuals don't spend every dollar they earn. They allow assets to grow. They accumulate investments. They build ownership. Meanwhile, some high-income earners spend nearly everything they make. From the outside, the spender appears wealthier, but on paper, the investor may be far ahead. That's an important distinction. Income and wealth are not the same thing. A person earning $200,000 per year can be financially stressed. A person earning significantly less can be building substantial wealth. Why? Because wealth isn't measured by what comes in, it's measured by what stays. And this is where the cost of middle-class life becomes especially important. The middle class often experiences pressure from both directions. Prices keep rising. At the same time, expectations keep rising. You aren't just paying more for necessities, you're paying more to maintain the lifestyle considered standard. Let's talk about convenience. Convenience has become one of the most expensive products ever sold. Food delivery, streaming services, subscription software, premium memberships, express shipping, ride-sharing, prepared meals. None of these seem expensive individually. That's the genius of the business model. The costs are distributed across dozens of small transactions. $5 here, $15 there, $20 somewhere else. Eventually, hundreds of dollars leave your account every month without creating any lasting asset. Again, this isn't about eliminating every convenience. It's about recognizing how expensive convenience has become. Because many people believe they have a major income problem when they actually have a spending awareness problem. Now, here's where the conversation gets uncomfortable. Many middle-class households are financing their lifestyle with future income. Credit cards, personal loans, auto loans, buy now, pay later programs, home equity borrowing. Debt allows people to experience a lifestyle immediately while paying for it later. The problem is that later always arrives, and when it does, the payments reduce flexibility. Every monthly obligation becomes a claim on future income. The larger those obligations become, the harder it becomes to build wealth. Think about it this way. Every dollar going toward interest is a dollar that can't be invested. Every debt payment limits future options, and over time, those limitations compound. This is one reason why two households earning similar incomes can end up with dramatically different financial outcomes. One household directs money toward assets. The other directs money toward liabilities. The income may be identical, the destination is not. Now, I want to be clear about something. This isn't an argument against enjoying your life. It's not an argument against buying a home, owning a nice car, taking vacations, or spending money on your children. The goal isn't deprivation. The goal is awareness, because awareness gives you choices. The biggest mistake people make is assuming that earning more money automatically solves financial problems. Sometimes it does, but often it simply creates room for bigger expenses. I've seen people double their income and still feel financially stressed. I've also seen people with moderate incomes build impressive wealth over time. The difference usually isn't intelligence, it isn't luck, and it isn't secret investment strategies. More often than not, it's understanding the true cost of lifestyle decisions. Every financial choice has two prices, the visible price and the invisible price. The visible price is what you pay today. The invisible price is what that money could have become in the future. A $500 monthly car payment isn't just $500. It's also the investments you didn't buy, the returns you didn't earn, the opportunities you didn't create. Most people only see the visible price. Wealth builders learn to see both. And once you start thinking this way, your perspective changes. You stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and you start asking, "What is this costing me beyond the purchase price?" That's a very different question, and it often leads to very different decisions. The reality is that middle-class life can be surprisingly expensive, not because people are irresponsible, not because they're making terrible choices, but because many of the costs have become normalized. They're expected, they're assumed, they're woven into everyday life. The challenge is that normal expenses don't always create financial freedom. In many cases, they simply maintain the appearance of success, and appearance can be incredibly expensive. So if there's one idea I want you to remember from this video, it's this. The biggest financial threat isn't always obvious overspending. Sometimes it's the quiet accumulation of perfectly normal expenses, expenses that seem harmless on their own, but together consume your ability to build wealth. The middle class isn't expensive because people are living extravagantly. It's expensive because the modern definition of a normal life now comes with a surprisingly high price tag. And the moment you recognize that, you gain something powerful: perspective. Because financial freedom doesn't necessarily come from earning dramatically more money. Sometimes it starts with understanding where your money is already going and whether the life you're paying for is actually giving you the future you want. That's a question only you can answer, but it's a question worth asking. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe, because I make content around money, investing, and real-world financial decisions without all the fake internet hype. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How is the middle class treating you?